and welcome back to my channel. Today's video I am going to talk all about dating and how to be confident when dating, and some tips and things to watch out for and things to avoid. I just want to make dating just a little bit easier. A big thing that I've learned is to have standards, and they don't have to be the standards that you see in movies or you read about or you hear about from other people. The standards that you have to be true to you. They have to make you feel good. They have to make sense for you, and they don't have to be accepted by others. They just have to be your standards. Like, what are you willing to accept? And the best way to create standards is ask yourself, like, what do I need? What feels good for me? What doesn't make me feel good? And what don't I like? Ask yourself those questions, and it'll help you understand, what you want, and it'll help you understand what kind of standards and expectations you're holding for others in your relationships. For me, I learned throughout dating that I need someone who's very communicative. So good communication skills is a non-negotiable, and this is a list you can create for yourself, is creating non-negotiables. What are your non-negotiables? What do you need and what do you want 100% in a relationship, and create those non-negotiables. If you don't have criteria, if you don't have standards, you're just going to accept anyone, and it's going to be really hard to navigate dating because you're just going to be accepting everyone. I find them attractive, check. But then where do you go from there? How are you able to identify if this person is right for you or if they're worth your time? And that's where your standards and expectations and non-negotiables come in. You look at this person, you have conversations with them, you have things to look out for, you have expectations, you have standards, and you're able to identify pretty early on if this person is worth your time based on the expectations and standards that you create. Make a list of your non-negotiables. Describe your ideal relationship. Think about how you want to feel in this relationship. What do you want to do with this person? How would you want to spend your time with this person? What would you want this person to be like? How would you want them to act? I know this sounds very strict, but you need structure in your dating life, because if you don't set a structure for yourself, if you don't set a roadmap, you are going to let so many people into your life that are not worth your while. And your heart, you as a person, and your heart is so important and it's so valuable. And I think when we go into dating, especially early on, we're just kind of accepting anyone who shows interest, and we get flattered by anyone that shows interest. And that is so time consuming. It's such a waste of time when you could know right away whether or not that person is worth your time. And I'm not saying just like don't give anyone chances. Like, you can give whoever you want a chance, but sometimes, many times, you will know right away if a person is worth your time based on your criteria and your expectations and your ability to identify what you want and need. It helps you. It saves you so much time, and it actually makes you feel more confident because you're able to communicate what you need and want. And that's gonna be so sexy if you're on a date with someone and you're able to tell them what you need and want and what you're looking for. Like, that shows like you're so smart, you're so confident, and that's so sexy. Someone who knows what they want is so sexy, and so it's worth your while to really think about what you want and need. And it doesn't have to be boring and super serious. It can be a fun little exercise that you do, and it can be a fun little practice that you start incorporating into your dating life. Like, go on dates, fail, make mistakes, go on dates with people that suck. That's fine, but throughout the process, keep asking yourself, okay, what did I like? What didn't I like? What do I want? What don't I want? What makes me feel good? What doesn't make me feel good? And through your dating experience, create these non-negotiables, create this list, create this criteria. And it's really not like, oh, he has to have this kind of car, he has to live in this place, he has to have this color hair. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about, like, how is he gonna make you feel? What kind of person is he? What does he value? And sorry, I'm saying he because that's who I date men, but whoever you date, What do you want them to be like? What do you want them to value? What do you want them to believe in? What do you want them, how do you want them to treat people? How do you want them to treat you? How do you want them to make you feel? What don't you want? What don't you need? What do you want? What do you need? What are your desires in relationships? What's your dream relationship like? Take it as a learning experience and gather as much information as possible and really start creating criteria and standard for who your ideal person is. And this will help you because you will stop just accepting anyone who shows you interest. You will actually start being more confident in your relationships because you know what you want, you know what you're looking for, and you're able to set boundaries with others. You're able to be the one to reject others rather than always be rejected. If you're always being rejected, it's because you don't have standards. It's because you don't have expectations and you're just accepting anyone that comes into your life that shows interest. And I know that because that was me. I didn't have expectations or standards. I was like, oh, this person likes me. I think they're cute. Okay, let's try it out and let's keep trying it. Let's keep trying it. And I wasn't able to be like, no, I don't like you, or no, I don't want to keep hanging out with you. I just accepted everyone because I just didn't know what I wanted. I didn't know what I was looking for. I didn't know all these things that I know now. And so that's a big thing that's helped me, and it's gonna help you. And it's also gonna make you feel confident going into a date because you'll know what you're looking for. You'll know what to do during that date. You're not just gonna be at that date just to be at that date. You're gonna be there for a purpose. You're going to be there looking for things, and that gives you purpose when going on dates. But when you don't have expectations and standards, the other person tends to lead the conversation and lead what happens in the relationship, and you're just going to be accepting it all. But like by having expectations and standards, you're going to be more confident. You're going to have these questions that you want to ask the person. You're going to want to do certain things with the person. You're going to be more confident because you know why you're there. You know what you're looking for. You have so much more purpose on the date rather than just going on the date. In my experience with dating, I've experienced a lot of guys that I've clicked with and we've gone on really great dates, but they are not ready for a relationship. They're not looking for a relationship, or they are looking for a relationship but they haven't thought it through. Like one week I will be vibing and like having a really great date with a person, and then the next week they could be like, oh, I'm moving, or I'm going on a trip, or I have other responsibilities or priorities. And so this is something that's happened to me so many times, and it's so frustrating because it's not like something went wrong or something just didn't work. It's like literally the guy just didn't think it through. The guy did not have any intention of prioritizing a relationship. He didn't think through his life, and he didn't think through if like going on dates and being in a relationship was something he could take seriously. And it just shows that a lot of the times men go on dates and such, but they don't take it seriously, or they don't think it through. And your time is valuable. You are valuable. Your heart is valuable. And so many times in dating, you're gonna click with people. You're gonna meet a lot of great people, but they're not ready for a relationship in the sense of the way their life is and the life stage they're at. They just don't have the time to prioritize a relationship, and they're not willing to make the time to prioritize a relationship. What makes you think you're ready for a relationship right now? Hey, what are you looking for? Someone asked me that recently, and I was like, that's a great way to ask that. Like, what are you looking for? And having that conversation after like the first couple of dates is really important. Communication is huge. It's gonna be uncomfortable at first, but you're gonna get better at it. And you're gonna get better at it because you need to, because it's a waste of your time if you aren't able to communicate. You're gonna get frustrated if a guy is not ready for a relationship, and so you're gonna eventually have to learn how to ask what they're looking for, because it just saves you so much more time and less heartbreak to know up front where a guy's head is at and what they're looking for, what their intention is going into the dating scene and going on dates. What are they looking for? So it's a beautiful question to ask, and a beautiful way of getting to understand someone better and identifying if someone's ready for a relationship is asking like, okay, how do you spend your Sunday? How do you spend your weekends? what is your priority in life right now? Like what are your goals in life right now? That's a beautiful question to ask. Do they see themselves in 5 years? Like just asking those types of questions gives you a better idea of like if they're able to prioritize a relationship right now, or if they're too busy and they don't have the time to. So that's something that I wish I knew, is like asking a person what their lifestyle is like currently, because that gives you a better idea of like, okay, are they gonna have time for me? And that's a big thing, especially someone in like their early or mid-20s. You're just getting started in your career, you're just figuring out your life, and so many times people aren't ready for a relationship, not in the sense of emotionally ready, but like physically ready for a relationship. Like some people still want to travel, some people still want to focus on building their career, some people are still trying to figure out their finances. I don't know. There's a lot of things going on in your 20s, and a lot of people may be emotionally ready, but they may not be physically ready with how their life is. And so I think that's a beautiful thing to look out for, is like, does this person have time for me, or are they able to prioritize me and make time for me? And I think that's a huge thing. And you're gonna go on a lot of dates where you do click with someone, but the timing is off. And so that's just something to look out for.